Okay, hi everybody. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. First stream of its likeness, but hopefully not the last. I've got Mr. Healy here, aka Tag Rook, who has really taught me how to get to this stage. And we are going to have a little session here where he's going to teach me the Sicilian Defense. Yo, what's up, bro? I've turned it on. We are live. I just did a little introduction on sort of what's going to happen today. I'm going to let you take the lead, though.
Yep. So, I might take the glasses off, actually. How's it going, everybody? I'm Liam, or Tag Rook. You might have seen me play before. Here today, running a video on the Sicilian Defense. So, I'm not sure if you know too much about the Sicilian Defense already, or sort of where everybody's level is at. But it's my favourite opening all round with the black pieces. Oh, that's rough. Server restart in 40 minutes.
We might be able to play in analysis mode anyway.
Oh yes, there, yeah. So do you want to start in analysis mode, or you want to jump straight into a game, or?
Either works. I think game's going to be easier because then we can just play.
Like me versus you?
Yeah, so me versus you, and I'll go unrated so we can finish after 15 moves or whatever. And then... we'll just talk to the opening and do what you want to do. I assume that you've got something roughly planned.
Yeah, more or less. Alright, let's jump into it, I guess.
So should I be black or white? I should be black,
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm going to try and run two windows here. Let me just adjust.
Might put you here. Alright, I'll just make it long as.
Yeah.
Unrated, and I'm going black, okay? Because it'll be easier for me to learn from black's perspective.
Yeah, makes sense, yeah.
Coffee fuel rampage stream. Rampage!
Yeah. I almost just played 1d4.
Nice!
So the Sicilian Defense starts
1965. Oosh.
Yeah, I had a grind today. It's been going good.
Good stuff.
It's been going good. So 1e4 from white, and then black's response signaling the Sicilian is c5.
Okay, I'm out of depth of my preparation. No, just kidding.
You used to play the Sicilian, didn't you, when you sort of first started learning?
Years ago. I found that I got quite good positions with you when you played the Sicilian and I played white. So that's why I went away from it. And then now playing some terrible openings like the French, I've decided that, okay, it's time to actually learn some grown-up ones. Sam in the chat, he reached 1,300 today, so that's a huge milestone. Congrats, brother.
Excellent. 1,300's big. Well done, Sam. Great work. So from here, white has options. Because the Sicilian goes so far in depth down so many different lines, so many variations, we're only going to try and focus on one or two today, just to sort of give everyone a rough idea of some of the more common.
You need to play a move quickly.
Or,
3 seconds or it aborts.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so the most common move too from white is knight f3.
Okay, yep. And I believe that knight c6 is general from black?
Yeah, so either
one of these two.
Either knight c6 or d6.
Oh, okay, d6, yeah, true, yep.
I personally play d6, however, I think knight c6 is better. I think I'm going to start playing that myself, actually. I think I'm going to transition. And
prepare. I guess if you were to play knight c6, he could bring his bishop in? I don't know how often you would see that.
So it's pretty uncommon that
because there's no pawn to trade on d4.
Yeah. So that would be signaling more of a closed Sicilian. So bishop b5. Oh, you can't. Can you see my screen now?
No.
Can you see my arrows?
No, definitely not.
Nah.
Yeah, take that.
Nice work.
Yes, true. That would be a lot easier if I could see your screen. Can you swap to... Oh, no, keep your face there. Keep your face there. All right. So... I think maybe d6 is the best move.
Yeah, so I think knight c6 is considered the old variation, and oh my god, I almost just played d4 again. So I think knight c6 is considered the older way of doing things, and now d6 is genuinely more accepted.
Okay, so let's look at some d6 lines then.
Yeah, so this is what I played, totally standard, and the main variation we're going to cover today is the open Sicilian. So we're going to look at, it depends what we've got time for. We'll kick off with the classical variation.
Yep.
And maybe if we get a bit further into it, we'll go down like the dragon.
I very much like that. I think that suits my play style quite well.
Yeah, I think so too. The dragon's one of the first variations that I ever learned.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's a solid weapon all round. It's versatile. There's a lot going for the dragon. It's very solid.
So when you talk about open, for those who don't understand, what do you mean by open? You see
the open Sicilian.
Yep, or just open lines in general. Open openings.
Yeah. So when I refer to open in the Sicilian, that pretty much exclusively comes down to one move, and that is d4. So we're opening the center, and so
we're inviting the trade for the c pawn to the d pawn.
Exactly. Yep. So when white begins 1e4 and black responds 1c5, black is essentially saying, I don't want you to have two center pawns. I don't want you to start building a big center, so I'm going to do something to undermine that with c5. So that's sort of the key idea here. And then the most common continuation is the open Sicilian. The closed Sicilian is considered quite uncommon.
I agree.
So yeah, this is a very, very standard open in a Sicilian game. To see d4 played on move 3. Black's natural response is to trade the pawns with c takes d4.
And I think that's pretty much a necessity, because you can't really allow d takes c5 opening up, and you would have to move your king. So this is what we want anyway. C pawn for a d pawn in the end game is going to be great.
Yep. So this is all sort of mainline theory in the open Sicilian, and sort of given that we're touching on the classical variation, we'll just look down some of the mainline theory moves. So the most common move here for white would be to simply recapture the pawn with the knight. Occasionally you'll see people retake with the queen. It's not super common.
Obviously retaking with the queen's not as good, because you're attacking instantly with knight c6.
Yeah, I mean, it appears as though we do get to develop knight c6 with tempo if white recaptures with the queen, but then white gets the move bishop b5, pinning the knight. And so, it's not bad, but it's sort of just, it's probably not ideal. White usually just takes with the knight. We don't have to get into all this, all this like tactical opening stuff that just like fizzles out after a while. So white typically retakes with the knight, which I've done here. Now again, black has options. Given that we're playing the classical variation in the open Sicilian, what do you think black's natural response is here?
I'd pretty much play knight c6 here every time.
Every time, really?
Yeah, man. Not saying that's the best. That's just what I'll play.
So the mainline theory in the classical variation of the open Sicilian would be knight f6.
Interesting.
So developing with tempo, attacking this undefended pawn. Supernatural. This is like very, very normal. So we're sort of posing the question to white: how does he want to deal with this pawn? And I mean, again, white has options here, but the most common response to stay on mainline theory would be knight c3.
Yeah.
This is a very normal
Protecting the pawn.
Sicilian game. Yeah. Now, again, black has options here. We could transpose into the dragon. We could play g6, which, yeah, fairly normal. We could play the knight off with a6.
True, a6. A6 was really popular too, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is very popular, the knight off. I played the knight off for quite a few years.
I believe I played the knight off too years ago, but...
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the knight off solid. It's a little more positional, a little less aggressive.
Yeah.
You can definitely win games in the knight off. It's definitely not a weak opening by any stretch. But in this particular scenario, we're gonna just continue with the classical variation. So we would be looking at knight c6 here. And this is all pretty common, so I can't quite see what opening the computer's telling us we've played. Is that the classical variation?
Yep. Sicilian Defense, open classical variation.
Yeah, so we're playing the open Sicilian because white has thrust d4 in early and traded off the c pawn for the d pawn. That's the difference between the open and the closed. And we've gone down the classical variation because of the move order we've chosen. So black hasn't committed to a dragon or a knight off or a Scheveningen. I don't think. Oh, you can play a Sveshnikov here. You can't play a Kalashnikov, which I'm doing a bit of work on. So I might be changing up my Sicilian over the next few weeks. But yeah, now it's sort of really on white what type of game he wants to play. There's a lot of strong candidate moves for white here. He's got some good developing moves with his bishop, so probably one of the more common developing moves I see. What do you think?
Yeah, I assume white bishop getting ready, preparing for castle. So probably, I mean, you could pin, but then you're just going to get hit immediately by a6. I feel so. Maybe bishop c4.
Yes, I mean there are options here. This is sort of this exact position is a big part of the reason the knight off is so popular. A6 sort of seems like a quiet move, but
after we did this, I actually thought juicy. before I put my knight there, maybe a6 is the play to stop.
Yeah, it just is every white piece wants to get on that b5 square.
Agreed.
So that's a big part of the reason the knight off is so popular. But yeah, anyway, white does have a lot of options here. Bishop c4 is a big one. Bishop g5. Hitting that knight straight away. It's another big option, developing the dark square bishop. And also preparing to castle long, maybe. If white wants to keep that option open.
Now, that is definitely my lines that I've played against you in the past.
Yeah. So my preferred move here with the white pieces is it's a little more quiet, actually. I sort of looked at something like bishop e3. Just developing the dark square bishop, preparing queen d2. Looking at castle long.
Oh, I can't. I tried to move your pieces.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So yeah, that's I guess sort of one of the downsides of the Sicilian for the player with the black pieces is that white does have quite a lot of options. So
and I think that's why
your lines.
Why it's often advised to avoid it until you're at that higher rating.
Yeah, that's I would agree with that. I mean, I started learning it when I was, I wouldn't say I was high rated when I sort of first started looking into it.
Probably 14, 1500.
Yeah, somewhere around there, maybe even less. It was one of the first openings I ever learned.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess, I mean, this is we've arrived at the classical variation of the open Sicilian. It's the sort of the main one we wanted to look at here today. So I mean, I guess we'll just sort of continue the game. So
I guess probably important is sort of what are the ideas. So for white, you've got two ideas really. I think you can develop either bishop and prepare to castle either side.
Yeah.
So for black, you've got to work out what you're going to do with your bishops. And this is sort of something that I don't like about the Sicilian is this bishop quite often ends up on d7, correct?
Yeah.
And I find that...
I don't put it there a huge amount. I get it to b7 actually quite a lot after a6, b5.
Okay, yeah, I see.
C7.
Yeah, true. Unlocking some potential on the long diagonal.
Yeah.
So then it's dark square because you do need a castle, and because white's going to develop so quickly, I assume castling's right up on your list. So two moves look obvious to me. One being g6 and one being e6.
Yep. So both strong candidate moves, and yeah, you are right about sort of a lot of these things. When we play the Sicilian, we're pretty much saying to white, "I'm not going to castle long." You know, there's just it's a dangerous castle. You know, I'm saying I'm either
I don't really want my king
castling short
on here ever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So because of this, we sort of are giving white a bit of information that my king is going to be on g8 at some point. So, you know, if you want to line your bishops over to that corner and, you know, have all your pieces facing that way, you can, which is definitely a downside. But we get some things in return for that. You know, we weaken white's centre. We now have two centre pawns. White only has one, which we would consider a slight advantage. We're kind of taking a step back and watching what white is doing, and you know, once white has committed to an idea of castling, so once I play bishop e3 here, I'm almost always castling long. You know,
yes, I agree here. Yeah, that seems like you're kind of putting your cards out there too, because if you're castling short, you're gonna develop this bishop as quickly as you can. Anywhere along this diagonal, you're going to castle long, and then I assume you're going to try and play for f4 at some stage.
Yep. Yeah, or maybe even f3. You know, it's quite common to see like f3 and then g4. You know, and just sort of launch the pawn storm once black is sort of, you know, committed to his castling.
Yeah, because my study on the white side of the Sicilian, I've done a fair bit on and down those lines as white. And I'm usually trying to develop my queen and castle long here, and then start this pawn storm and big time, like all out. Generally, I've only really played you in these lines, and you're quicker. You're just stronger, you know. But I think it's good for both players. I think opposite side casting offers real opportunities for either player.
Yeah, so very often you'll find Sicilian games do just come down to a race. So, you know, like both sides, we're both sort of looking to develop both our bishops. I'm going to castle short, you're going to castle long. I'm going to get a6 and b5 in. You know, you might get f3, g4, h4 in. You know, and it's just a bit of a race. I might slide one of the rooks over to the c file, queen c7. You know, line up this battery down the c file, and you know, it's fireworks until somebody cracks.
Yeah. So I think playing this, we've played this sort of a classical slow build 'em up sort of style. So I'm looking at e6 here to continue with the theme so far.
Yep. Yeah.
So let's throw that on the board.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to e6. You know, so e6, bishop e7. Preparing a castle is the main idea. We also, like, it's not the worst thing in the world when we take it a little bit slower here. We do sort of create this, it's not really a weakness, but just this minor
awkward
positional
pawn
weakness of the d pawn. Yeah.
And this bishop's kind of locked in at the stage.
Yeah, and the bishop's a little weak.
Because generally you want to get your bishops outside of pawn chains before you press pawns. But I think this is your solid Sicilian. If you want a solid opening, you're pretty hard to crack here. The only thing is maybe that it would be nice to have a6 in. Yeah.
So a6 is another strong candidate move we're going to be looking for here. So it's going to be it's a bit of a combo. So we're going to be looking at like a6, queen c7, then b5. So
launching. So if you're saying that if you're going to castle long, I'm going to be really quick.
Yeah.
Very, very quick.
Yeah, it is. It is really quick.
Maybe
And
this knight gets in here really quick as well.
yeah, we
And
quite often
potentially it's
find there's a bit of a minor concession by both sides. So, whilst white takes a lot of space on the king side, black sort of in exchange gets a lot of space on the queen side.
Yeah.
So, and then it's just a foot race to the enemy king, crack him open. And, yeah, hopefully checkmate our opponent. Is the plan.
So what do you see? Do you not play this position very often? Are you more of a knight off, or? Surely you've played these lines plenty of times before, though. I've seen this structure before.
I definitely have.
You generally develop both bishops castle short.
Yeah, so I think some of the more important ideas for you are going to be bishop e7. Get that bishop out. I have a tendency to hold off on castling when I'm playing the Sicilian, especially if it's come down to a foot race and my opponent's already castled long, which I don't advise. Oh, can you just hold there for a sec?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Yeah, so I hope you're learning something so far. So we'll start with this more classical slow variation, and then I want to definitely look under some dragon variations where you get this long diagonal, because I've lost a lot of games to this bishop on this long diagonal. So I do want to see some dragon variations, and yeah, I definitely want to look under the accelerated dragon at some stage.
Yep, accelerated dragon, definitely solid. But yeah, I mean, in this position here, I think doing fine. Black sort of feels a little bit slow here, but not the end of the world. Like white also has some development issues. Getting castled. So I mean, let's look at how white plans to continue. I used to play this a lot with the white pieces, so I don't play e4 anymore, so I don't come up against Sicilians ever, but I still remember how to do this. So I think I either play bishop e2 or queen d2.
Yeah, so you play quite soft, so I'm picking that bishop e2 is probably the move that you like to play.
I mean,
it feels like a Liam move if I've ever seen it.
I'm going to play one and then I'm going to play the other.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we could look at like bishop g5, bishop b5.
I would play bishop b5 because I would be preparing to bring my queen to d3.
Okay.
And I think that's what I've learned. And you have to pin first. Well, you don't have to, but it's easier to pin this knight first.
Yeah, I mean, we can have a look if you like.
Oh no, you do you. Yeah. Oh, that's fine.
It's on the board.
So you're obviously looking to. He's got two attackers, only one defender, so we have to do something about that. So this bishop is not developed yet. Whoa, that's actually kind of awkward. Yeah, maybe the knight off is quite. I know it's very solid. I know it's very commonly used. Because now this is slightly annoying. I don't really want to develop my bishop to d7, but I think that's the only move.
I think bishop b5 is really more of a bluff than anything. Like, what happens after bishop d7? Bishop d7, I'm going to take like the extra tempo. Oh, am I? Take.
Seems like two choices.
Yeah, I guess so. I think I'm gonna stick with. No, that's right. Yeah, so I like queen d2.
Yeah, I like queen d2 too.
Is there any?
Or queen d3.
Any tricks?
No, because you're defending the bishop too many times.
Yeah. It's queen d2. This is all pretty common. We're sort of starting to leave opening theory now. But yeah, I mean, the first sort of, 5 or 6 moves, looking to get this sort of solid structure in, as Oh, okay. So I would have played A6 there all day.
I just put the question to him because obviously
Yeah,
it doesn't look good taking because then you're just going to give black these three monster pawns which
yeah,
are looking pretty good.
yeah. I mean, oh, yeah. Black has white can stack, I think, but yeah, A6 there immediately is like seems like that must be the best move. Um, yeah, if we look at A6, yeah, taking's just bad. Sure.
Yeah, I kind of looked
Oh
at it
yeah,
as we'll see what the computer thinks afterwards because we're sort of reaching. I think once we're both castled, then that's probably enough on this line.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but it seems to
yeah,
me like this bishop's not really doing anything anyway.
yeah. That's sort of why I say that Bishop B5 is really more of a bluff than anything. Like
Yeah.
it's just not really achieving enough. So yeah, I'm pretty much ready to castle. Looking at the position I'm castling long.
Whew. See, I love this. Yeah, this is good. This thing's good for black. Now I'm looking at a6 because now I know where you're
Yeah,
castled. I want to get into you real fast, and now I'm actually posing the question because you could very well take here.
yeah. I don't think taking's really that good. If let's say Bishop takes C6 and then B takes C6, we're really just opening up that B file for the rook. If we slide the rook over to B8, and like suddenly this is like pretty menacing.
This is already looks pretty menacing, to be honest. I can see why I've lost so
Yeah,
many games in this. Looking
it's
from your
just like it's
perspective,
such a
you're
such
going
a
to
quiet
open really
position,
quickly.
but you got stuff going on. Um,
So I assume then the bishop retreats. Do you want to give me another tempo? Probably not. Can you even go to a4?
oh no, I definitely can't go to A4. No
Mm.
way. But do I have like knight takes C6? Is that a thing? If I play knight takes, then I do have bishop A4. I think. I actually don't want that. This is why I like bishop E2.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Um, yeah, I might actually play bishop E2. But that's a pretty key tempo to give up.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, that's fine anyway because I think in this position we've sort of got a pretty good. I like this. We're getting ready to press up. Maybe bring the queen up, and then what?
Yeah, I mean, like
Castle
all
both
this is fine.
rocks.
When we look at when we're deciding on an opening that we want to play, we want to look at fundamentals of the game. So in this position, we have the player with the black pieces has reasonably good control of the center. He's at least contesting. All his miners are developed. He's ready to castle. His pawn structure is still
Developed-ish.
quite strong. Yeah, developed-ish. They're not ideal squares, but they're yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, not perfect, but they're definitely not bad. But I mean, Queen C7, Rook C8. It's not looking bad.
And that's where I think I underestimated this because I've watched you play this recently, which was this line actually exactly with this pawn structure and these two bishops here, but without the knight. Maybe even I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I looked at this and I thought to myself, well, you know what? Black just has really no weaknesses. Black looks
Yeah.
Black looks really good here, and I thought originally, when I was that sort of 1200-1300 range where when I first learned this, maybe even lower, I thought, well, it's so weak, it's what is Black doing? But looking at it now from my perspective, having played 7,000 games as Black, this is a great position for Black.
Yeah, it's definitely not bad. It's a little bit cramped, but
But
it
you
definitely
can
offers,
blow it out quickly.
yeah, definitely offers counterplay. So candidate moves for me are like Rook C8, maybe even like I don't know, Knight E5. Knight E5, Knight C4. Let's take that bishop here.
With knight c4, the bishop takes.
Oh yeah, so after the rook's on c8, I mean,
After the
you know,
rook's
rook
on c8.
c8, queen c7.
Rook c8 seems like a good move. I think it's rook c8, queen d7, or castles short.
Yeah, yeah, all strong moves.
Even
from here.
b5. But I'd prefer
so,
my rook on c7 first.
Yeah, so yeah, like the plan is quite simple for black. You know, rook c8, queen c7, castles at some point, and then b5.
Yeah.
Then maybe we can even just maneuver the knight. You know, knight e5, knight c4. You know, and we pretty much force white to give up the bishop here. Which again is another minor advantage that we'll happily take in the Sicilian. And black's pretty quick. Yeah. Like, what are my moves? You haven't castled yet. Do I really want to launch the pawn storm?
I think you have to.
I guess so. But yeah, I kind of do have to. There are also other ideas for black. You know, we can. You know, if we really are feeling the pressure, maybe we just trade off a knight, put the bishop on a long diagonal.
Yeah.
You know, still rook c8, castles. You know, it's not looking bad.
But this is fine. This is a great position to get to. I'll be happy to play this. I think in this position where you've castled long, I am going to send it.
Yeah.
And I think I'm quicker. But you're not slow.
Yeah.
I think it's these two pawns that you're supposed to storm with.
Yeah.
Off memory. Okay, so I'll resign. And then we'll do a quick analysis of it, and we'll make sure we didn't play any horrendous moves. But I don't think we did.
I think it wasn't perfect. It was definitely, I think white was slightly better probably.
I think our job as this, look at this. Our job in this opening, as well, in any opening really, as black, is just to equalise.
Yeah.
So, you just can't see, but it's a very even position between white and black the whole way. So I'll see what it says. It's all book. Oh, the pin is the best move.
Oh, really?
Yep. And either bishop or queen was acceptable. Now, I did look at queen, but it just looked a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
And it wants you to play back. Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay, so we've reached a position. It's minus 0.3 to black, but honestly, looking at this, I'd play either side here. Yeah, I'd play either side in any day. Yep, easy. Okay, so I think I'm going to have to jump in analysis mode because we've only got 10 minutes left on that server till the server reset.
Yep.
Alright, let's go analysis. I'll flip the board because it's always easier, I think, to see it from black's perspective if we're learning black's opening.
I think so, yeah.
And let's get into it.
So so now that we've sort of touched on the classical variation of the open Sicilian, we'll go down a different line. So we'll look at the dragon, I guess. It's a little more exciting, maybe a little more aggressive. This it really does commit to the opposite side castled and just a foot race. Which is good. I like it. You know, I first started playing the dragon and I saw great results, especially at the sort of, 1400, 1500 level. It's very dynamic, offers just very, very aggressive counterplay for black. It does come with some risks, of course, which I think was always going to happen. But yeah, all in all, a great opening, but also quite versatile. We have options of what type of dragon we want to play. We could play an accelerated dragon or a hyper accelerated dragon, even like a dragon dwarf, so like a hybrid between a dragon and an idol.
Which is strongly what I think I'm considering playing.
But yeah,
I really like a6, and I really like this bishop.
Yep.
So that's sort of that's where I'm heading. But let's Maybe we do the knight off first, and we just
Yeah,
roll
okay,
through
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Let's roll through it quickly. So,
yeah, so I mean,
e4, c5.
yep. So we're looking pretty good. So again, the knight off is a variation of the open Sicilian. So we're going to be looking at knight f3 here.
And then you want me to play knight f6.
No,
No?
not yet. Nah, not yet. Little premature, buddy. So knight c6 or d6. Either's fine. I probably lean towards d6.
Oh man, this is going to be hard to remember. Yeah, well, yeah, okay, so this was the move I thought I tried to make last time and you said no.
Yes, not quite. It's just like that will be coming soon. Just not quite. Yeah. So now white would signal the open Sicilian with d4. Now c takes d4 again. You know, we've got what we wanted when we decided to play c5 on move one. We traded off the centre pawn, giving us 2 centre pawns to white's 1, which we're happy about.
Yep.
Yep. So it's all looking pretty normal.
Then knight takes, knight can only take here.
Yep. And now you know, black has options. So a6 is probably a little premature here, so we probably do want to look at knight f6 here.
Oh, okay, still attacking that. Okay,
Yeah. So knight f6, the natural defending move, the move that defends the pawn and develops the piece would be knight c3. Again, pretty normal, and I think a6 is the knight off now, or maybe we could get d6 in.
I think it's a6, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah, it must be a6, or it's either a6 this move or next move.
Oh, that favours white a lot.
Oh, really? Yeah, I think we must need to get d6 in. So we're still
Just to
transposed
stop
to
you.
just like,
Maybe.
yeah, we're still transposed to a classical Sicilian. And yeah, now it's just sort of normal developing moves for white. So let's look at maybe bishop d3.
Oh, bishop d3.
Yeah. Either or is fine. Just sort of. Oh no, we can't play that actually. It just blunders.
Oh yeah, it does run. Nice. So what was your rating?
Yeah. Maybe.
Sorry.
What about bishop g5? I feel like this is fairly natural.
Yeah, that seems pretty good actually. I like this.
Yeah. So this to me looks.
Definitely ask
pretty
black a question.
Yeah. So for me, I'm playing e6 here.
I think I'm playing. Yeah, I think you have to play e6.
Yeah, just like
You have to
allowing
stop
it
this
in.
knight coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we in chess we typically don't like pins. We don't like being in pins, but this is a
Volunteering
Situation.
yourself
Yeah.
into a pin.
yeah.
But this helps us out anyway because we have to get this bishop out at some stage.
Yeah.
So now
yeah,
the bishop's at least got a square.
Yep, that's also right. Now, yeah, again, we can look at options for white. So queen d2 is one, or develop the light square bishops somewhere.
Like the light
Bishop
square
c4,
bishop.
pretty common.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Bishop
I mean,
c4?
bishop c4.
Yep.
Yeah,
This
that's pretty.
adds another defender of the d5 square. Because I imagine if I get in d5 at some stage, I don't hate these two pawns working either.
d5 is considered a winning move for black in the Sicilian.
If you can get d5 in, like you're looking for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
nice.
It seems like the position's calling for d5. Not right now, definitely not right now. But
Yeah.
if you can make it, sort of like when I play my French lines and I say to you, if I can get in fucking b4 or whatever, I win.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd probably look at a6 now. So it's a6 or bishop e7.
Still favours
Or
white.
Yeah, I think we haven't got a6 in early enough.
Yeah, this is definitely not a knight off.
Okay, so e4 c5, knight f3, d6.
Why d6?
D6 it's like the standard Sicilian Open. That's what I play. You don't like it?
Nah, I hate it.
That's yes, yeah. Yeah,
Are you just trying to
the
stop this
normal way to
knight?
play.
What does it? What does it achieve? Oh, does it stop? Does it stop them getting an e5?
Yeah, stops e5. It's just the normal move, actually. Yeah, I don't really know why. Like I've never played knight c6 on move 2 as a natural move.
Should we see how the computer says about it? I might hate it. Didn't love it, but didn't hate it. Likes it better than c6. Oh, same. D6 rather. It just seems.
Yeah.
It seems. Man, you're the expert. Seems slow.
It does seem a little slow, but it is pretty necessary in a lot of the structures you get in the Sicilian. It doesn't really matter what type of Sicilian you're playing. It's pretty important.
Hmm.
You know,
Okay.
like every.
Not a handy. I'm going to play that.
Yeah, I mean, your two moves here are either d6 or knight c6. I prefer d6. You know, but I mean, it's up to you. What I would recommend trying them both, and you know.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, I like that. Giving them a go away.
Yeah. So,
Cool. So
now
we're having an open game,
d4. Yep.
and I just snatch that pawn.
c4.
I just snatch that pawn every time. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that's the best.
Yeah.
We have knight.
That is totally standard theory. I don't know any theory in which you don't take the pawn.
And it hated a6
now-
last time, eh?
Nah, it's knight f6 here.
Still go and attack that pawn.
Yeah, it's just a developing move with tempo, and then
Yeah,
knight
true.
c3 here at standard.
Yeah.
And now a6. This is the knight off.
There. This looks right. Yeah. Okay. Whew.
Yeah.
Man, sorry to everyone watching that. Who's do these guys know what we're talking about? We do, sort of.
And yeah, this is just solid all round. Like it's another
really
situation
solid
where,
opening.
Yeah, black just has no weaknesses.
Yeah.
You know, we've taken away this nice juicy b5 square from both white's knights and its light square bishop.
Mhm.
We're looking at ideas of just knight c6 or g6. You know, followed by bishop g7, playing into a dragon structure. Our light square bishop's ready to go.
Yeah, the light square bishop looks a lot better now, as well as moves like this.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, looks really good. One of my more common moves here, the Sicilian I've been playing more recently, is the Scheveningen with e6.
Yes, I've seen you play these lines.
Yeah, I play that a lot. That's my pretty standard for me. So like e6, bishop e7, all pretty normal sort of stuff.
So what would yeah, I mean, obviously, if he's going to bring his bishop, that's what you're going to play anyway. But say he develops his light square bishop instead. C4 seems natural.
I mean, a big part of this is that we've taken away some natural developing squares from this light square bishop. So, you know, he doesn't really love being there. I mean, yeah, like, he
sort of does until you play e6.
Yes, I mean, e6 or even b5, you know?
Yeah, it's probably not a bad time to play b5.
Yeah, like we can expand on the queen side, gain some space, gain a tempo, prepare bishop b7.
Does stop you developing this knight quickly.
It does. But you know, once we get bishop b7 in, now their knight's free to develop. Maybe queen c7 at some point. It's still looking pretty normal. We're sort of asking white where that bishop's going. He's pretty much always retreating. Bishop b3. Like anywhere else is just like he's given us a tempo, which we should not be happy about.
Yeah, well, now he's developed his bishop, it seems kind of hard to play g6, which is the move I want to get in.
Why do you say that?
Well, because I think e6 is just makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
You stop the attack on the f7 square. Not that there's a huge attack, but there's always potential that's going to be. Especially there's no real good way to kick this bishop away yet.
That's fair. Yeah, e6 super common. I'd probably play e6 here.
Yeah.
So e6, bishop e7, prepare to castle. This is all pretty normal. We still have knight c6 if we want it. Yes, this is all good. This just invites bishop e7, but again, it's like super common. We might not even castle here. We might just play h6 immediately. Just ask that bishop what he wants.
Yeah, I don't mind that actually. Yep. What's he going to do? Is he going to? Mind you, I play this h6 g5 combo a lot, and it gets pretty sketchy around the king sometimes.
It definitely does. The problem is if you castle before playing h6. So if you go back a couple, let's say you castle now, and I don't know, white plays queen d2, and now you,
and he just
maybe
castles.
Yeah, and now h6, he can sack here.
Yeah.
He can sack all day.
And he will.
And obviously the computer says it's pretty good for black, and it is if you play perfect. But we're not all going to play perfect. Maybe he doesn't sack exactly there. Yeah, but it's just it's very very dodgy for black, having this king so open, and like no real pieces are able to get to come across to his defense.
Yeah.
Having said that though, I feel like there's a tactic here. Is there anything with like knight takes e4?
Oh, my knight.
No, not
because the bishop's. That's what I assume you mean.
Yeah. I guess it's just not good enough.
I get the bishop.
Oh yeah, it's not bad.
It's quite even.
Super slow though for black.
Well, computer does not like that. Yes, I would guess. Yeah. Anyway, okay, cool. Can we look at the accelerated dragon? Let's just touch on that.
Yep. So again, it's just the accelerated dragon is a variation of the open Sicilian. All the openings we're looking at today are variations of the open Sicilian.
Probably should have made that in
the accelerated dragon. What's that, sir?
I probably should have stated that in the title, Open Sicilian, but that's okay. Next time we'll do work on the close. We'll keep this to the open.
Yeah, sounds good. So we begin with e4, c5. And so the accelerated dragon.
Oh wait, I may not be playing that here, eh? Is it G6?
Nah, yeah, I think. Nah, that's the hyper accelerated dragon.
Oh, yeah, now
we're talking. Sure. Yeah. Can you click it and see what the opening says? I'm pretty sure that's hyper accelerated.
Hyper accelerated.
Yeah. Which, I mean, again, like, certainly not bad.
No, I don't see any
bishop active early.
Really issues with it, and because there's nothing attacking your c5 pawn, you're all solid everywhere.
Yeah.
What I will note is if you do play g6 openings early, and you're playing against me, for instance, I'm going to really look quickly at attacking you on the king side. And in these Sicilian games, like Liam said earlier, you're going to be castling short probably. So you need to be doing everything you can to quickly create some counterplay on this queen side, or you're going to get steamrolled on the king side. You've created a hook in your position incredibly early, and you would have won a lot of games against G6 openings, right? I mean, it's something that I tingle a little bit inside when I see G6. Two reasons. So you've created this hook, and if you castle before I do on the king side, then I'm probably going to attack you on the king side. Is one of the reasons, and the other reason is that it's that tingle telling me to not fuck up on this diagonal, because I've lost a lot of games, and I'm sure you've lost a lot of games from tactics along this long dark square diagonal. So in these dark square diagonal games, I'm looking to quite often create a queen bishop battery, and even trade off this bishop if I can, because this bishop is the key piece in the position. You spend a lot of moves getting it there, and created a slight weakness. If it's gone, it's big weaknesses on the dark squares. And the other thing is emptying the file, so getting everything off the dark squared file, so moves that eventually get that rook off the dark squares, so you don't end up blundering something. And it's super easy to do too. Even me, man, even today, if I was to play a game, I would be nervous if this bishop ends up on g7, which is why I want to play the dragon, because I like those openings, and I don't mind someone attacking me on the king side. Let's do it.
Yes, I mean, it's like I pretty much agree with everything you've said. This dark square bishop along the long diagonal is usually the best bishop, in play.
Often the best piece.
And and so again, you're right. White very often will set up that queen and bishop battery to get rid of that dark square bishop. Is just such a monster.
It only generally works, just for anyone who doesn't understand. It only works when the rook is here on the same diagonal as the bishop. Okay, for example, if I play another move and bring the rook over, and you do the same thing, feel free in these positions to play bishop h8 and keep this long diagonal. Computer might not love it. Computer might not love the position, but don't be afraid to do that, man. You spent work getting it there, and it is a good piece. Don't be afraid to keep that.
Yeah, so I mean, this sort of all looks pretty normal. So in this exact opening, we've committed to castling early, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. White does know where to attack, but we're reasonably good in terms of development. After knight c6, maybe we even just like strike out with d5. D5 is a question.
True. Yeah, actually, I like that. Yeah, d5, because you're threatening d4 in this position.
Yep.
And this is where this bishop can get opened up pretty quickly too. So say takes. I don't have time to play it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't have it, but suddenly, I think black's better here after takes.
Oh yeah.
Maybe some bishop g4 ideas. Let's look to like mess up that pawn structure, get a long-term advantage, and then just c6, complete our development. Maybe find better squares for our rooks along the back rank, and she's all go. I like this for black.
Bishop's kind of hard to locate a space for, but we'll work it out. So yeah, this is definitely something. I mean, I didn't play optimum moves here. I just played quickly to show what to sort of look for in these, well, what I look for in these bishop openings anyway, because they can be quite tricky, and I imagine that people in the chat have had issues with them in the past, and will have issues with them in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, the hyper-accelerated dragon is obviously less common than the dragon or the accelerated dragon. Definitely no huge downside to either of them. Probably the bigger downside to the dragon is more people understand the theory. So you're going to come up against people that have played against the dragon more often.
Yes.
So you do want to sort of, if you're looking for a good opening with the black pieces versus 1e4, maybe the hyper accelerated dragon is the way to go. People have a reasonable idea of some of the key ideas in it, but if you make a lot of your prep around the hyper accelerated dragon, you are going to catch people off guard. They won't be facing the hyper accelerated dragon as often as they're facing, say, the dragon or the night orc.
Yep.
Which obviously comes with some pros. Anytime our prep is better than our opponent's prep, always a good thing. Yep. So it's all pretty normal.
So in the accelerated dragon, would you play knight f6 here, or does it come with g6?
I think it comes with g6 now.
Okay. I like this. Computer doesn't.
Yeah.
Standard.
What's the
Plus 0.86.
Oh, really? That's quite a lot.
Yeah, I think it's hard for White to prove it though.
Yeah, I agree.
I think probably the key difference is that Black has no pieces developed.
Yeah, it's probably, yeah.
So if White just makes natural developing moves, and I'm looking at this, Bishop c4, and a quick castle.
Yeah, castle short, yeah.
Man, this opening is really hard. There's so many variations of it.
There really is, that's... When it comes to the Sicilian, it's definitely, I think, a good approach just to, try out a few, see what suits your style of play. So I started on the Dragon, then I moved to the Night Orcs, now playing the Scheveningen, and I'm looking at changing again. So, it's sort of each to their own, or, I'll just play whatever suits your style. But if you play the same variation, it's quite often easier to sort of spot your own weaknesses. You'll quite often find you're running into the same issues. What's the evaluation now?
Plus 0.17, so even.
Yeah, what are we doing?
And they were very natural moves. Can I play h6? I don't know. Yeah, now it's plus 0-0-0.
Yes, I mean, if we look at this now, Black has achieved equality out of the opening, which I'm always happy about. There's good candidate moves. I like a6 here still.
Yeah, I like a6 too. I even like it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, maybe now, yeah. I think castles is
Yeah,
still
castle
fine,
is probably the best move. Probably doesn't like a6, no. Don't do that in games. It sucks.
Yeah, it's rough, eh?
It is a brutal way to lose a game.
Yeah. But yeah, like this is another example of a good structure for Black. Again, we have no weaknesses. Maybe we're a little behind in development, but we're probably going to have a stronger overall centre than White. White's probably going to want to try and trade down in the centre. These centre pawns, we still have the 2-on-1 majority in the centre, which again we love. But after a few nice developing moves, knight c6, and find a home for the light square bishop, maybe a6, b5, bishop e7, suddenly like Black's looking pretty good. Would have plenty of space on the queen side, all just good natural squares for our pieces, and we should be on for a pleasant game. Just looks good all around.
Yeah, and I think that's the seems to be pretty much general consensus with the Sicilian. You may not always, you're not necessarily winning out of the opening. Like a lot of my tricky sort of openings in the French, where I quite often go up material in the beginning.
Yeah.
Not saying that's always good material, and I've lost lots of games from tempos, but this is just solid. That's what
So there's not too many opening traps in the Sicilian. We're not really looking to find a good way to trap our opponent where we're really just looking to play super, super solid, just get a good position, maybe find a very small advantage. And in this situation, like, I would consider that the dark square bishop along the long diagonal to be a small advantage. Couple that with the 2-on-1 pawn majority in the centre. Again, that's another nice advantage we have, and we haven't really conceded that much. Maybe 1 or 2 developing tempos, but I mean, we can live with that once. As long as White's attack isn't coming super fast, we can really equalise that development tempo, and we still hold our minor advantages.
Bro, we can't see anything on Twitch. That's not good, bro. Why can't you see anything? Sorry, dude. I'll have a look. Well, maybe anyway, Liam. Let's call it a day there.
Yeah, cool.
I think we covered a few openings. Few different openings here for people to go look at. It's total dark. Oh shoot! All right, I'm gonna. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Anyway, I'm sorry for that. Hopefully, in the beginning, there's some light. If this was all lost, I'll be cut up because it's quite educational. I'm really sorry. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to attempt your name, Pavitra. If you look through the games, hopefully you can see the beginning of this. It's really good, man. We're just going through the Sicilian. We're trying to teach people. Well, Liam's trying to teach me, and through that, hopefully others will learn the Sicilian opening. And failing that, mate, we will be back to do some more at a later date. I'll keep everybody posted on my Facebook, which is Facebook _night. And if you find that, I'll be able to give you some more information.